The recent car blast near Delhi's Red Fort has once again raised serious questions about security, radicalization, and the psychology behind such acts. But beyond the immediate facts, this incident opens up a larger conversation about how education professionals can be radicalized and how fear is used as a weapon, and how society responds to such acts without falling into prejudice. So, today we explore these deeper questions from the mindset behind the attack to the broader motives that may lie beneath it, and also the accountability of the state and the central government in this incident. So, now we have with us Mr. Madhur Satya, a social activist and a state committee member of ISCUF, with us now. Hello, sir.
Hello.
There are some reports suggesting that Dr. Umar, who was in the car, have driven the car out of panic and executed the plan prematurely, as his team members were caught before. Do you think this incident was a form of a psychological warfare intended more to create fear and insecurity among people rather than to cause major damage?
We can only speculate on what the intention could be. It could be a psychological attack, or it could be part of a major conspiracy to, cause major damage and create panic in such a way that you could plan a coup against the union government, which is highly far-fetched and impossible, to be honest. But what we expect is transparency and full disclosure of information. You see, Pahalgam happened just a few months ago, same 2025, April 22nd, I guess. You still don't know all the information that is related to the attack. You have bits and pieces, you have some information related to the international community, and the international community claims the Indian narrative is inconsistent because Rajnath Singh says one thing, the delegation that went abroad says one thing, Vikram Misri gave another information, is what the international community claims, not me. So only when we have all the information that can be given to citizens at large, we can make any sort of assumptions about it. Contrast it with 2611, when Mumbai was attacked, the Taj Hotel was attacked during Congress regime. You know everything about the terrorists that carried out the plan. You know how Ajmal Kasab came to Mumbai, on which boat, what sort of satellite phones they used, which organization they belong to, how they were paid to come into the organization, which village they hail from. All of this information you know within weeks of the attack. So you could make a clear-cut judgment about both the geopolitics and the intention behind the attack. Now it's just saying a doctor, out of panic, blasted himself in the car, and very, very strangely, people start addressing this as car blast instead of saying bomb blast. This is a bomb blast happened
In
using
the
car as a
car.
device, but the media keeps covering it as a car blast, as though some CNG inside the car leaked and started some fire, and it ended up in a blast. It is a bomb blast. It is a extremist or terrorist plot, but we don't know what the plot is. Now, coming to the fact that he panicked because his accomplice was arrested earlier that day, the claim and the news itself is very alarming. They seized almost 2,900 kilos of ammonium nitrate. 2,900 kilos of ammonium nitrate is no joke. The intelligence should not pat itself in the back for seizing the amount of nitrate that they did. They should actually be held accountable that they allowed this to happen in the first place, allowed this to happen as in not the attack. I'm saying accumulation of almost 3 tons of ammonium nitrate is laughing at the face of police and intelligence. Because I'll give you a comparison. 1995 in Oklahoma City in the US, there was an attack using ammonium nitrate of 2,300 kilos in the truck. The blast costed the lives of 168 people. So imagine 30 years later, with all the upgraded explosive techniques, with more explosive power, with 2,900 kgs of ammonium nitrate, what damage it could have caused. And this is not just an intelligence or police failure. You have Petroleum and explosive safety organizations, you have organizations that regulate ammonium nitrate distribution, you have organizations that give license based on what purposes these explosive substances can be used. For example, this can be used in fertilizer. Ammonium nitrate can be used in fertilizer. Ammonium nitrate is used in mining to make all the demolitions. So if the person who is acquiring this got license through agricultural channel or mining channel, the concerned departments are responsible. You don't know any of this. What happened is the narrative now shifted to him being a doctor and all that. Now
Mm.
it is bizarre because what is exceptional about a doctor? See, a police takes an oath saying here I mean here his or her job is saving lives. But you see police take lives often. I mean, extrajudicially, in fake encounters, lockup deaths, police brutality, and all that you see. Nobody raises the question, how come police do this? Police are educated people, police take an oath against taking lives. The same is the case with doctor. And the claim that education stops you from radicalizing is bogus. If you
Mhm.
see, many large-scale terrorist plot were carried out by educated people. Most of the atrocities in the world or in India are carried out by educated people. Bin Laden was a civil engineer, successful civil engineer. He was a construction manager. So he wasn't some illiterate person. The notion that educated people cannot be radicalized comes from our own classist perspective of what uneducated people do. Uneducated people don't involve themselves in such acts. They have their own lives to look after, and their burden is 10 times or 20 times more than ours. These educated people are easier to radicalize because what we call as a rabbit hole. If you fall through a rabbit hole, you keep going there. So there is this thing called Dunning-Kruger effect. Dunning-Kruger effect is basically a graph which says you think you are more intelligent because you are educated, but what you do is you have a stupid notion and you keep educating on the stupid notion, thinking that is universally true. So what eventually you become is you become more and more stupid because of your education, not because of the lack of it. So education is no way.
It's basically the mindset of the people, you
Yes,
mean?
it is the mindset of the people, but the mindset of the people is the consequence of a problem, not the root of the problem. Consequence of
Mhm.
a problem is what is the social condition that you are keeping the people in.
Brought up. Mhm.
Broader. There is this research by Ashutosh Varshney. Ashutosh Varshney is a leading social scientist. He he has created a framework to analyze where Hindus and Muslims live in harmony, where Hindus and Muslims live. Where riots happen between Hindus and Muslims. So there are confrontational living and there are associated living. Wherever there is associated living between two communities, they live in harmony. By associated living, I mean not hugging each other, shaking hands. You should be dependent on me. I should be dependent on you. That is associated living. We should depend on each other for our livelihood and stuff. So people live in harmony. But when resources are scarce and when you and I are made to fight, we bring in our religion, we bring in our race, language, all sorts of
Mhm.
questions related to our identities.
Doctors take an oath to save lives. It's very foundation of their profession. How do you think some of these individuals who are being radicalized to the extent that they turn against the very oath and take lives instead, or even they sacrifice their own lives in the process?
So this sort of radicalizing happens not only because of people's mindset, because people's mindset are not so innovative that they can think
Mhm.
outside of a world. They live in a real world, and the real world gives them some social relations and social realities. So it is the responsibility of a state to keep these individuals or keep these communities live in harmony, live in peace, so that there are no rooms for radicalization. You can't come to Tamil Nadu and radicalize someone randomly because you don't see that reality here. But if you are able to do it in some bordering states, then we have to introspect what realities these people live in and how the state, nation, and the society is responsible for that. That is where we should begin in. We should not backtrack. Oh, there is something in doctor's profession that is driving them to this. That is wrong way to go about it. Is what I
Mm.
think. Yeah.
This blast, it happened right in the heart of the capital, despite multiple layers of security and intelligence agencies at work. Where do you think the lapse occurred? Was it a failure of intelligence, coordination, or response?
Before saying this is an intelligence failure or police failure, this is a governmental failure to take lessons from the previous attacks. This is not just for terrorist attack. Have you seen Amit Shah taking responsibility for the failure in Pahalgam? No. None in the government said we will introspect or will retrospectively look at what are lapses happened in intelligence failure, the military failure, the police failure, the security failure for the people in Pahalgam before the attack happened. It's not just an intelligence failure. Even intelligence failed, there should be enough security to who are the victims of the attack. So there was no responsibility taking. There is no assuming of fault from the government's head. Even the 26 innocent people lost their lives. Not just in Pahalgam, Pulwama 40 people died. Rajnath Singh didn't take responsibility. Patankot, dozen people died. The government didn't take responsibility. There are so many such instances in the last 11 years. You have seen nobody resign. You have seen nobody take responsibility. Not just in the matters of terrorist attack. Take a railway, for example. 300 people died in Odisha railway accident. The railway minister did not resign. There are so many exam papers leaked. There are so many competitive exams postponed, and lives of, future of youngsters being put in question. The education minister did not, HR minister did not resign. So, if people would ask, why are you comparing this? During 2611, during 2611, Shivraj Patil took responsibility as a home minister and resigned his position. You're not praising Congress. Even if you take Vajpayee government, when Vajpayee is in power, Nitish Kumar was a railway minister. Because of a railway accident, Nitish Kumar took responsibility and resigned his position. So this is a custom. This is bare minimum done by political leaders who are occupying executive positions. When you don't do that, this is bound to happen. I'm not saying in Delhi or innocent lives are supposed to die. I'm saying you are reason for these lives lost. You have not taken responsibility. You have not taken any lessons from the previous experience. Now coming to Delhi, Amit Shah is praised to have precise knowledge about the location of terrorist camp in Pakistan, so precise that they can send missiles to attack just a terrorist camp without causing any civilian deaths. But he is totally unaware of an attack which is happening just under 8 kilometers from his residence. This is laughable. This is, like I said, this is not just an intelligence failure. This is not just a police failure. This is a whole network of governmentality's failure. So then, post the attack, what happened is another dimension of insensitivity. The next day, Prime Minister said he is going to Bhutan. He posted a picture of him smiling and waving at the camera from the airport. On 2611, I was a school child. I remember seeing Manmohan Singh amid of pouring rain giving press conference as soon as 2611 happened. Even then, Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi, flew from Gujarat to give press meet in Mumbai. When he was a CM, whose responsibility was not to look after Mumbai, he flew from Gujarat and gave press meet. Now he is the Prime Minister who is supposed to take responsibility for the attack happening in the capital. He flies to Bhutan. See, Bhutan is not a nation that will tell we are cutting ties with India because Narendra Modi cancelled the meet in the last minute, citing a deadly terrorist attack. Bhutan will not say that. And this is not a meeting, security meeting, say with Russia, with US, France, and all of these nations are having some security council meeting. If India misses this meeting, some 50 years of Indian security will be jeopardized. It is not that sort of meeting. Bhutan meeting is highly, it's just a friendly meeting. You can postpone or you can cancel. But still, he chose to go there so that there is one day gap given to the government officials and the ministers to create the PR. so that he can come back and go to the hospital, do the photo shoot with all the victims, uh, give give nice slogans, saying these people will be brought to justice and stuff like that,
Yes.
and get away with all sorts of negligence.
Do you think Kashmir is just being used as a cover and the real motives behind these attacks could be much deeper, political, ideological, or even international?
This could be because, see, not just this attack, any attack could be part of a major international scheme. Terrorist attacks don't happen just because bunch of individuals uh, thought or got agitated against the government. They usually happen, just like I said, how people get radicalized in particular social realities. These attacks also happen in much bigger plot. This could be a national level thing. This could be related to elections. This could be something related to US India relations. This could be related to Pakistan India relations. But again, like I said before, all of this are up for speculation, not for concrete analysis or even educated guesses when you don't have any information as to uh, who these people are, what organizations they belong. Because earlier, they will give you all the information and set the narrative. The ruling government, any ruling government, be it Congress, BJP, Janata Dal, whatever, Janata Party, whatever it is, they usually set the narrative after providing all the information that is available, so that you can make an educated guess and you can have multiple interpretation as to what has happened. For example, Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, you have multiple interpretations even now. People who claim LTT did and LTT denied it, and there are people who claim it is a plot by the imperialist as in US imperialist order. Rajiv Gandhi went to Gulf countries just before the meeting, and the US and the Israel did not like it. So these are interpretations based on all the information that is available from the attack, right? Similarly, when a attack happens in Delhi, if you are disclosing all of this, we can make a judgment about whose interest is benefited by this. But there are no information available. What you are seeing is this is an individual doctor. He had some friends in Faridabad. He has family in Kashmir. He was radicalized. All this individualistic narrative, so that the right-wing media, what quote unquote you say, Godi media, run amok with all of this speculative narratives about who these people are, Islamophobic superlatives that they usually put forth in Times Now, Republic, and all that. These are only what is available in public now. There are no transparencies about it. So it could be a part of a deeper plot. It could be a psychological warfare. All of this can be conclusively said only when we know, okay, this is done by Jaish-e-Mohammed. This is done by some offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba. Because we know the serial blast in Delhi, which happened in Delhi market some 2 decades ago, was part of particular organizations. We know 2611 happened because of a particular organization.
For
Yeah,
this, they have said like they have seen the posters of Jim on Jammu and Kashmir actually, like maybe 2 weeks before, I think so, sir.
that's what. These are again speculations. These are spurious information. These are not. See, when was the last time you saw a terrorist attack without anybody taking responsibility immediately? This is an important question. Even for Pahalgam, TRF, the resistance front, seemed to have taken responsibility at first, but they denied a week later, saying this was a fake news created by cyber intelligence in India. Whether we take it as truth or not is up to us. We might believe our government, we might believe our intelligence and all that. But the thing is, it is very dubious that no organization comes forward and takes responsibility, and we are making conclusions based on some allegations of poster being spotted a week ago, right? Even when activists are arrested here, people say there was a letter in their computer which said they are going to kill, they were plotting to assassinate the prime minister. And later it was found that particular document was planted. So we don't know any intention or any organization getting involved. We know these people were involved. We don't know for what they are involved. There are no public information available about it, and the information that is aired are speculative information is what I'm trying to
Its
say. Yeah.
own, it's their own narrative side.
Yeah.
So this attack may fuel negative perceptions about Muslim in general. What should be done both by the government and the media to prevent this from turning into community-based prejudice or fear?
I I mean, the simple answer is the BJP government should dissolve itself if it has to be stopped, because there is no other you can't ask BJP government not to do communal politics. It is like asking a snake not to sting, right? Or bite. Like you can't ask king cobra to be not venomous. It is venomous by nature. So there is nothing this government can do except uh, dissolving itself. What the media can do is, again, all the media is in their hands. It is useless to ask Arnab Goswami to, you know, grow a spine or grow a sense of justice. No, what the media, like the alternative media, can do is not something that we can, assume and advise them. They just have to follow the examples of the Wire and the Alt News. You see, media houses like the Wire, the Alt News have been doing tremendous job on ground. As soon as the attack happened, mainstream media, respected TV anchors started peddling communal narratives. For example, Akshita Nandagopal, I guess her full name is. She started asking why the attack happened in front of a temple. Attack happened in front of Red Fort. There is a temple nearby.
Mm.
The important point to note is that there is a mosque nearby, there is a gurudwara nearby, and there is also a church some distance away. So, in the center of the Delhi capital, you have every religion occupying their own spaces. So, there is nothing to say this happened in front of a temple. But you have all the mainstream media peddling this narrative. But countering this narrative, news outlets like Alt News, News Laundry, News Click, Wire have been working tremendously. So, what we need is people who are concerned about the society, people who want to be journalists, have to engage with these media houses, work for them, freelance for them, or create their own media houses with their friends and acquaintances to counter these narratives in their own languages. For example, in Tamil Nadu, you have quite vibrant anti-fascist media houses, basically anti-establishment media houses. Uh, at least on YouTube and social media, not in mainstream mostly. Mainstream debate is still pro-establishment, and you have some dissent. At least in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, you have dissent in mainstream media. Beyond Tamil Nadu and Kerala, if you go to Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, it is entirely Bharat Mata Ki Jai only. So you can't expect any radical change from them. But in YouTube scene, in social media, these alternative media houses, the individuals that are aligning with the alternative media houses have to work much faster with much more vigor to counter these communal narratives. And this is not just the responsibility or the vantage point of media houses. You also have to work in your own study circles, your own apartment circle. Because this might sound very abnormal, but the fact of the matter is we are not living in normal times. So when we are living in abnormal times, abnormal measures are warranted. Yeah.
What concrete steps should the central and the state take together to prevent future lapses like this?
First thing is how you deal with problem of radicalization. See, you can hang a terrorist, you can kill people who belong to an organization, but unless and until you you uproot the reasons that these organizations could radicalize youngsters, you can't stop this. See, this is like, there is this meme of a large tank having a hole, and the water is leaking by the hole. What you need to do is you need to change the entire wall of the container. But the meme is basically putting a cello tape on the hole. When there is a large hole in a large tank, putting a cello tape does not solve any problem. So you can kill the terrorists, you can kill the terrorist organization, but as long as you keep people deprived of their rights, as long as you oppress them, with draconian laws. As long as you set police on them, you set military forces on them, you're on citizen. I'm not saying about foreign individuals. You're on citizens. You keep the grounds that breed these organizations, these radicalizations alive. So what you need to do is you need to treat those people as equal citizens. You need to have dialogue with them. You need to resolve all sorts of disputes mutually instead of unilaterally taking a decision and enforcing on them. I'm not saying if you do that, they should become terrorists. I'm saying if you do that, they eventually become radicalized. So it is your duty to take steps. I mean, it is in your interest. I'm not saying you do it for the interest of the public. You do it for the interest of others in altruistic sense. I'm saying even if you want to govern yourself without any headache, you need to do this. So the next terrorist attack happens because of the lack of this sense of engagement of the government, not because of some police failure, just intelligence failure. Police and intelligence failure are consequence of a much bigger problem in the way the government deals with radicalization. That is what I see. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Madhur Satya, for joining with us today and sharing your views about this explosion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Maybe the real battle isn't on the streets, and that's where the change must begin. As investigations continue, one thing is clear: the truth must come out and justice must prevail. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates. This is Fireline Media connecting you to the world.